Not all difficulties or challenges are of the devil. Sometimes the things happening in your life are just a way of saying to you, it is time for you to move to your next phase in life. God is speaking to you, you're not listening or you're not understanding what He's saying. And then things that used to work for you no longer works for you. You're no longer welcomed where you used to be welcomed. And you're not depressed, but things that used to interest you no longer interest you. For example, you've been in a certain job for years and all of a sudden they no longer appreciate you. Everything is just saying to you, we don't want you here anymore. And maybe you've been feeling reluctant applying for other jobs because you feel you'll not be accepted somewhere better. But you're not happy where you are, you're complaining all the time, but you're so afraid to make changes, you're so afraid to move. And with all that's been going on, all the annoying things going on, all of a sudden you get a slash on your salary. And maybe that's when you finally realize that it is time for you to leave. You're in a relationship where you're not happy. You're being abused emotionally. And then it has advanced from emotional abuse to physical abuse. And you're still considering if you need to stay or not. And it has moved from maybe one time slap per week to serious beating that probably the last one you received was about to take your life, and all of a sudden you just realize it is time for me to leave. Sometimes people want to make changes in their life, but they just keep putting it further for some other time. But this discomfort sometimes is what really brings about that push to say, okay, I'm doing it today, I've had enough, I can no longer have it. You're in a business, the business is no longer working the way it used to work, you're doing the same thing, and you're having this urge to move to another location, and you're still putting it further, I'll do it. And all of a sudden, your landlord comes to tell you, we don't want you here anymore. And that's when you realize, yes, it's actually time for me to move. Maybe you've been having all the signs that it's time for you to re-strategize in your business or to move to something bigger. And all of a sudden, a competitor comes and takes over the business, and then you just realize, yes, this is what I'm supposed to have done and I'm ready to do it right now. God is so merciful and patient with us that most times, even when we don't listen, even when we're not making moves, He keeps showing us different signs. He keeps telling us in different ways that it is time for us to move to a higher phase of our life. And each time you obey God to make those changes, to follow His directions, it always takes you to something bigger. So endeavor to be sensitive enough to know when it is time for you to make changes, when it is time for you to move to a higher phase of your life. Don't sleep on your passage. Every stage you are is a passage. You need to move from one stage to a higher stage and then to a higher stage, because the path of the just is as a shining light that shines brighter and brighter onto a glorious day. So you can't be stagnant, you can't keep going backward in life, you just have to keep moving forward. So try to understand when it is time for you to move and make that move.